Hello and welcome to the Bridge Live. My name is Rahul Kargal. And unless you've been living under a rock, you probably know by now that India has secured two gold medals, one in the open category and the other in the women's category at the 45th Chess Olympiad in Budapest. And today I've got with me one of the stars of that team, Arjun Erigaisi. Arjun, thank you very much for joining us on the Bridge Live today, and congratulations on winning gold at the Chess Olympiad.
Hi Rahul, thank you very much.
Arjun, I know you've just arrived in India this morning. What have you got lined up through the rest of the day? I'm sure you're talking nonstop to the media.
Yeah, it has been quite a hectic schedule right after the Olympia. I had no plans of coming back to India, but I had to make some changes and came back and a huge shout out to the Indian government and also the Sports Authority of India for a warm welcome.
Yep, I must, begin by mentioning that you're obviously the highest-ranked player at the moment amongst the Indian active competitive players. You've been ahead of the legendary Vishwanathan Anand for quite some time now. You've worked very closely with him in your formative development years, and incidentally, Vishy sir, as you're like calling him, uh, you'll be playing alongside him in the Global Chess League, right? How excited are you for that particular project?
Oh, I'm super excited. Global Chess League is definitely one of the most exciting tournaments in the chess world. And last year I got an opportunity to be in the same team with Magnus Carlsen, and this year with Anand sir. So it's all like, and I remember this match in 2013 in Chennai. I was fondly watching it in TV, and from there to being in the same team as both of them, I'm just super happy about it.
Yes, and we definitely will come back to talk about the Global Chess League through the course of this particular conversation. But we definitely have to talk to you about the Olympiad, of course. And your performance at the Olympiad was phenomenal. You scored 10 points from 11 games. You ended with a performance ELO rating of 2968, which is the rating for the tournament, and in this case, the Olympiad. And incidentally, Arjun, this was the third highest performance ELO rating in a single Olympiad since 1972. What was your preparation like going into the Olympiad?
Well, going into the tournament, I knew that it was not just Olympiad, but I was going to have a long trip ahead. So I didn't do any specific preparation just for the Olympiad. I did some general chess practice that would help me for like all my upcoming games, and yeah, it has worked out quite well. And also, I'm very pleased that the entire team played very well.
Arjun, I've been itching to, ask you, right, about your training regime. I've been talking to a few chess players. Last week I spoke with Nihal Sarin, yesterday with Vantika, and all of them have different regimes, right? Vantika likes training with the engines, for instance, and Nihal Sarin doesn't like the engines as much, right? What is your everyday training routine like?
Uh, if I have to say, I would say I'm like a bit more balanced. It's not like I love training with the engines, but also I'm not against it either. I'm quite flexible on this, and also I'm quite open to playing a lot of games with my training partners and analyzing them after that. And the only thing that I'm not into is books, except that yeah, I have done like most of the possible things that associated with chess training.
Sounds good. And there was one specific observation that all the chess connoisseurs made, right? You played on board three instead of board one. You were a higher ranked player, but you played on board three. Whose idea was this? Tell us a bit about this strategy, Arjun.
And this was suggested by our team captain, Srinath, and his reasoning was that I have been facing the kind of opposition that I would face on board 3 recently, and also Gukesh has been facing the kind of opposition that he would face on board 1. Of course, we are all strong players, and like he's capable of playing on board 3 and taking more risks, and I'm capable of playing board 1 and playing it more solid. But he just thought like it makes more sense to continue to let it flow the way it has been flowing. And yeah, we thought it would make a lot of sense and decided to go ahead with it. And it worked very well.
Correct, yes, and the results kept coming in your favor on that particular board. And the team itself had 8 wins on the trot, and then the team was held by Uzbekistan in round nine, correct? And what was uh, the team meeting at that point of time? What were some of the things that you all discussed all of a sudden being held by Uzbekistan with a couple of rounds still to go?
Well, actually, we missed a win in that match because I had a clear win at some point, and that was the only game running. So, had I won, the team would have won that one as well. So, in that sense, it was slightly disappointing. But considering the situation, we had 2 full match points lead, so we were not unhappy with the result. And we just thought like it makes more sense to continue to let it flow the way it has been flowing.
Arjun, we lost you there momentarily. Can you hear me all right? Yeah, we seem to be having slight technical difficulties. Arjun, can you confirm that you can hear me all right?
Oh yes, I can hear you all right.
All right, yeah, I lost you there momentarily. Uh, so I think you were mentioning about the match points. Can you just back up and reiterate that point a bit?
Yeah, I was just mentioning that like it was a bit disappointing in the sense we missed the win, but nevertheless we still had 2 match points win, and we knew that the next match against the United States would be very crucial. So we should just focus on that and forget whatever happened, and we did so.
Sure, sure. And when you look at all the games that you played through the course of this particular Olympiad, was there a game that stood out for you as possibly the hardest across the entire tournament?
As a team, I think it's the match against the United States because they were actually higher than us on paper, and they also, I think they were the only other team in the entire tournament to have all 4 players to be 2700 plus. And so it's such an equally contested match, and anything could have happened. And we won a close match.
And I must ask you, was there a game also where you felt you played your best? Was there a game that you'd like to call out for you personally?
Yes, this was against Daneshwar Badia of Iran. It just seemed like he made all the normal looking moves, but soon he got worse, and optically it's actually looking the other way at first. Like my position doesn't look that good, but it's actually the other way around.
All right. And also, we were looking at the women's team pretty closely. They went in as the favorites. Were you following the women's team and their results as well? Was there any interaction between the two squads at any point during the Olympiad?
Yes, most certainly we were rooting for them as well. There was no interaction on the way how it's going, but of course we were like talking about other things and so on. And they suffered a slight setback in the middle, but they made a strong recovery towards the end and took took gold home regardless. So it's all the more impressive.
That's right. And the moment the win was achieved, Arjun, your parents and your mother specifically spoke to the media, and she mentioned something very interesting that I wanted to check with you about. She mentioned that when you were really young, you had the capability to memorize tables and recite that in reverse. You also had the ability to memorize flags of countries, I understand. And your teachers were the ones who, suggested to your parents that you should probably be playing chess. Do you recall any of those very early interactions?
Yes, yes, I recall them quite well actually. My mother had just bought this flag book, which had like countries, capitals, their flags, and currencies. And yeah, I just loved it. So I was going through over it again and again. So I just ended up memorizing them, remembering them. And yeah, I was also like quite fond of playing with numbers and uh, doing some uh, fun stuff with numbers. So I liked maths as well, and yeah, I was pretty good at it. So noticing this, my teacher in Tirupati, she suggested that like chess might be good for me because I was quite good with calculation, maths calculation. And of course, it was too early and it wasn't possible in Tirupati. But later on, when we moved to Varangal, that's when I first started chess.
And was there a period in those formative years, Arjun, that you realized that, hey, hang on a second, I must be really good at this game? Do you recall, that moment of epiphany, as it were?
Uh, I, I was mostly an underconfident child. So the first time I felt confident was actually in 2021. And that's when I decided I'm going to be a professional chess player, and there has been no looking back since then.
I can't help but notice how you mentioned there's no looking back since then. A lot of that attitude reflects in the way that you play as well, right? I was talking to Nihal Sarin last week, and he mentioned that Arjun is constantly attacking on the board. It doesn't matter uh, if he's with black, he's still attacking, and he wants to win. Where does this killer instinct come from, Arjun?
Yeah, so earlier I was more of a strategic player, and I was not so much into complications, going for the risks kind of player. But at some point, one of my trainers, who was also, by the way, the coach of the Olympic team in the Chess Olympiad, Srinath Narayanan, he mentioned that I'm lacking behind in this, aggressive kind of aspect. So then I started working on that, and from it being a weakness, it became a strength. It became such a strength that now I'm like mainly banking on it, if I can say so.
In fact, Magnus Carlsen went to the extent of saying that Arjun's a madman on the chessboard, right? I'm sure you've heard of that comment. Do you see that as a compliment, or is he pulling your leg on that one there?
No, I think it's certainly a compliment. Like my style is very much okay at this level. Most players are universal, and I am also. But given a choice, I'm certainly the kind of player who is going for risks and trying to, just checkmate the opponent. So yeah, it wasn't a surprise.
Yeah, talking about Carlsen, of course, you've watched him and several other players on the circuit very closely, Arjun, and I'm sure you're analyzing all of their games on a regular basis. If I were to, ask you to name, for instance, three players, and if there was one skill or tool that you were to borrow from those three players, who would they be, and what would you borrow from each one of them?
Well, I would just say Magnus twice because I think he's incredibly like he's clearly the best player, and yeah, one of them is his endgame skills. He's so good in endgame, and his time management is very quick, and his intuition it's super strong.
Okay, so just one person thrice over again. No one else. Magnus is good enough for you to borrow everything that you can from him.
Yeah, I think so. He's clearly the best player as of now.
And yeah, and on board one at the Olympiad, Gukesh had a pretty solid outing as well, right? And you back him to go ahead and win the world championship in a couple of months' time.
Yeah, I think so. I think he's a huge favorite to win the match. He's in excellent shape, and I wish the best for him.
Right, and there's one aspect that I wanted to check with you on. I was talking to Harika and Vantika yesterday, and both of them mentioned one aspect pertaining to form. They said, in the opens category as well as in the women's section, practically everyone was in great form, right? In cricket, for instance, Arjun, we say great form for a batsman is when he's able to time the ball really well without, having to put a lot of effort. What is great form like for a chess player? Just break it down for the common person.
So for chess players, being in great form is firstly being sharp. Sometimes like when you're not in good shape, you just miss like extremely basic tactics, small moves, and that is one. And second thing is when you're in great shape, you feel confident, so you don't end up spending too much time for a move. And when you're not in great shape, you doubt yourself much more, and instead of playing the move in like 5 minutes, you may end up taking 15 minutes. So I think these two factors I would point out.
And when a player is not in the best of forms, right, how does that player make a slow but steady comeback into the kind of form that he or she would like to be in?
So typically, a win gives confidence, and the confidence would change a lot. And for the win to actually come, you just need to keep trying, I think. And of course, like having a mental coach and doing some puzzles, these kind of things would help you. And but yeah, I think the breakthrough, like to actually change it, would when a win comes, and you just have to keep trying for that.
Sure, sure. And you yourself, Arjun, like we were talking, you had a stellar tournament. You're obviously in great form yourself at the moment. But if there are a couple of areas that you would like to improve on yourself, what would those areas be for you, chess wise, right now?
Well, uh, okay, I think one of them is my uh, like playing a bit too fast at times. I end up playing too fast and missing some crucial moments. Of course, like it also works as a strength for me because a lot of times I put my opponents under pressure on the clock, but it can also be a slight weakness. So I think I should be able to manage this a bit better. And the other thing is sometimes I get a bit careless when I'm winning, and so that tends to allow some counter play. So yeah, be try to be as serious as possible even when I'm completely winning.
Sure. And like I was mentioning, I've been talking to a few chess players, and all of them have different ways of unwinding, right? Some of them like to watch tennis. Apparently, Nihal Sarin likes to play tennis. He's taken the sport on recently. What does Arjun like to do to unwind when he's not playing chess?
I love watching movies. I'm mostly into Indian movies, Tollywood and Bollywood, and yeah, I also like music.
All right, and because you mentioned movies for the audience's sake, I must ask you if there's a biopic that's made on you, right? Who would you like to play it?
I would go with NTR. He's
Yeah,
my favorite actor.
that's an interesting choice. You know, he's huge and he's got huge biceps, right? That'll be an interesting combination. NTR Junior playing Arjun on a chessboard. Uh, Sounds good. Now, we're almost at the end of our time capacity. Arjun, I want to bring you right back to the Global Chess League. Uh, you're with the Ganges outfit, and you'll be brushing shoulders with the legendary Vishy sir. Have you had the chance to interact with some of the other members of your squad at the moment?
Yes, of course, I interacted with Vaishali, who is Prag's sister, and I'm quite close with Prag. But yeah, and apart from Anand sir and Vaishali, no, I haven't had any chance to interact much with the other players. This is going to be a good chance to get to know new minds, and there will be a lot of time because it's only one rapid game per day. So it's intense and chill at the same time.
Correct. Yes, all rapid games, and I think that is going to suit your style of play because you like to play fast. Obviously, you've looked at the field in the second season of the Global Chess League. Are there any specific matchups that you're looking forward to in the Global Chess League?
I think all the matches are going to be very exciting. But last year I played for the SG Alpine purpose, so it will maybe this time playing against them would be an interesting feeling.
In fact, the first season, drew a lot of attention. Franchise format for chess, which has not been seen before, right? Do you think it's helped popularize the sport and also enhance the skill levels of the players in parallel?
Yeah, I think it's definitely in the right direction to help chess grow, and I think over the years it will become huge, like how IPL became with cricket, and yeah, I just hope more and more such events will happen with chess.
And finally, on a passing note, Arjun, I must ask you, the popularity of chess in India is at an all-time high now, right? The youngsters watching people like you and Gukesh and the rest play in India winning the Olympiad, and they wanting to pick up the sport, right? What are some words of encouragement that you'd like to pass on to the youngsters who'd want to now start playing chess, having seen you do so well?
Firstly, thank you to everyone who is watching chess and rooting for us. It really means a lot. And yeah, chess is a nice, fun game. Just enjoy yourself and yeah, play more and more games, do more puzzles, and yeah, main thing is to just enjoy and have fun.
Perfect. Enjoy and have fun. That's what Arjun Erigaisi has to say to all the youngsters who are watching this particular broadcast. Arjun, there's lots more that we definitely can talk about, but then unfortunately, that's all that we have time for. Thank you very much for joining us, Arjun. Congratulations once again on the phenomenal success at the Chess Olympiad, and here's wishing you the very best for the future.
Thank you so much.
And ladies and gentlemen, that was Arjun Erigaisi, the gold medal winner at the Chess Olympiad and India's highest rated chess player at the moment. And you can watch him, of course, in action for the Ganges Grandmasters in the Global Chess League from the 3rd to the 12th of October. The Bridge will be covering the Global Chess League, and you can catch all of that action on the bridge.in and our social media handles as well. Thank you very much for joining this live broadcast. This was The Bridge Live. My name is Rahul Kargal. Until next time, goodbye and good luck.